Sadashivasamārambhāṃ Shankaracharya-madhyamāṃ Asmadacharya-paryantāṃ Vande Guru Parampārāṃ Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Asmat Guru Charana Ravinda Bhyan Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Can you hear me? Can you hear? No. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Okay. Right. Vedo nityamadhiyatam taduditam karma swanushtiyatam tene shasya vidhiyatam apachitih kamye matistyajyatam papogah paridhuyatam bhavasukhe dosho nusandhiyatam Atmecha vyavasiyatan nijagrihat turnam vinirgamyatam sangas satsu vidiyatam bhagavato bhaktir dridhadhiyatam shantyadif parichiyatan dridataram karmashu santyajyatam Sadvidvanupasripyatam pratidinam tatpaduka sevyatam brahmaikaksharamartyatam shrutishiro vakyam samakarnyatam vakyarthascha vicharyatam shrutishirah pakshas samashriyatam Dustarkat suviramyatam shrutimatatarko nusandhiyatam Brahmasmiti vibhavyatam aharahar garvah parityajyatam Dehesmin dehehamiti rujyatam buddhajanair vadah parityajyatam Kshudvyadischa chikitsatam pratidinam bhikshaushadam bhujyatam swadvannannatu yachyatam vidivashat praptena santushyatam shitoshnadi vishahyatam natu vritha vakyam samucharyatam औदासीन्यमभीप्स्यतां जनकृपैर्नैष्ठुर्यमुत्सृज्यताम् एकान्ते सुखमास्यतां परतरे चेतः समाधीयताम् पूर्णात्मासु समीक्ष्यतां जगदितं तद्बाधितं दृश्यताम् प्राक्कर्म प्रविलाप्यतां चितिबलान्नाप्युत्तरैश्लिष्यताम् प्रारब्धं त्विह बुध्यतामथ परब्रह्मात्मना स्थीयताम् प्रारब्धं त्विह बुध्यतामथ परब्रह्मात्मना स्थीयताम्. Okay. So last time we saw Sangha Satsu Vidhiyatam. Correct? Sangha Satsu Vidhiyatam Bhagavato Bhaktir Dridhadiyatam. So if one disassociates mentally with the family, near and dear ones, then they need to associate with someone. So that association is with Bhagavan. And then to harness that, to make it very firm, Satsanga is a very important aspect. Vidhiyatam Satsangaha. Vidhi means it's a compulsory thing you need to do. Otherwise, that mind is like a monkey which will keep running at all the places which are not very beneficial. So, Bhaktir Dridhadhiyatam, Bhagavataha Bhaktir Dridhadhiyatam, Dridha Bhakti. Okay, Achanchala Nishkapata Bhakti. Chanchala means which is movable. Achanchala means which is firm. Achanchala Nishkapata Bhakti. Kapata means cunning, fooling. Nishkapata, very sincerely the bhakti which is done. Okay, so Achanchala Nishkapati Dridha Bhakti. See, one of a very important, what do you call, ritual in our dharma is there's something called Ashmarohanam. And this is done in many of the rituals. When there is a marriage, the wife is asked to stand on a piece of stone. Okay. And then the husband says that be firm like the stone. Okay. Should not be shaky, wavery. Should be firm. Okay. So when it comes to dharma, that firmness, clarity, and taking a stance and not moving it based on how many are with me, how many are not with me, all those things are out. A firm stance needs to be there and you have to be with it if you genuinely believe that is the right one. Okay. Same way in Upanayana Samskara, the father makes the son stand onto that same ashma, a piece of rock or a small, जो क्या करते हैं अपना यहाँ पे वो मसाला वाटते हैं ना, व्हाट इज दैट कॉल्ड, जो बेस है नीचे उसका पत्थर है वो, उसको ऊपर खड़ा कर देते हैं कि भाई यू शुड बी फर्म लाइक दिस, हिलेगे नहीं आप. सो दृढ़ भक्ति, Achanchala Nishkapata Sthira Dridha Bhakti is this. Whatever comes, because that is the time a lot of testing will happen. There will be situations where you will be shaken. And that time one should not lose the hand of Ishvara. Okay. Like, for example, when you see Harishchandra, if he had to do his duty, it is Achanchala, then it doesn't matter whether it is his own son or his wife, but he will do it. That is Dridha Achanchala. Whatever happens, I am very firm on my decision, and that's how it will be. Because that is the one which will, that firmness as a quality is required in Atma Jnana. Otherwise, someone will come and tell something and you will change your, चलो आज ठीक है आत्मा मजा नहीं आया, दूसरा कुछ ट्राई करते, फिर एक 2-3 साल के बाद ये बरोबर नहीं, देन कुछ ट्राई करते, देन दैट इज नॉट अ दृढ़ निष्ठा. इट इज अ फर्मनेस. वंस यू आर कन्विंस्ड, यू हैव टू बी विद इट. ओके. सो भक्तिर दृढ़ाधीयताम, दृढ़ भक्ति अधीयताम, शांत्यादि परिचीयताम. Only when your mind is firm, then it is calm. If it is wavering, it will never be calm. Okay. Shantyadif parichiyatam dridhataram karmashu santyajyatam. See, again that same word dridha. Now when you say dridha, it is firm. Dridhatara is more firm. Dridhatama is most firm. It is a superlative comparative degree. Dridhatara, because in the earlier shloka, Dridha Bhakti has come, earlier line. So Dridhatara Shantyadi. Dridhatara Karmashu Santyajyata. Be calm, because you are now giving up a habit which you have been doing for such a long time. That this question will come. मैं जो कर रहा हूँ करेक्ट है कि रॉन्ग है. Because in this path, very few will be there. Just imagine a managing director of a company. How many people can he consult for a very, very important strategic decision? If he has to take a decision, there are hardly people whom he can consult with. Because only those people who are responsible like him can give the right ideas. Otherwise, he is all alone. But he has to have that firm conviction what he is doing is right and be firm on it. Because if you start shaking, two people will come and tell, actually, this way is not so good. We should try this way. Over. If he changes, then everything changes. So that Dridha Bhakti, Dridhatara Karmashu Santyajyatam is very most important because you have to leave the karma. Contemplative mind, if it is achieved, ready for jnanam, karma as what is given as our various karmas can be easily left. Absolutely no problem. And one should not have that either a fear or a guilt or anything. That is why when you take sannyasa, there is a way to leave the karma. When you take sannyasa, there is a way to leave the karma. You Viraja Homa mantra is told, and then after the Homa, that ladle through which you pour the ghee, even that is put into the fire. So that I will not touch it again. जो रोज करते आ रहे हो उसको त्याग देना है. That firmness of the mind should be there. Right? Okay. Then Sadvidwan upasrupyatam. Go to a guru. Pratidinam tat paduka sevyatam. Do shushrusha for the guru. Because he is going to give you that jnanam. Whatever you do is going to be less. As much as possible, do all the shushrusha for the guru. And understand Eka Aksharam Brahma Arthyatam. What is the Atma Jnanam? Understand it very clearly. Aham Brahmasmi Omityeka Aksharam Brahma Vyaharan Manusmaran Pranavas Sarva Vedeshu. Okay. Yo Vedadau Swara Prokto Vedante Cha Pratishtitah Tasya Prakriti Nasya Yah Parassa Maheshwaraha. The earlier pramanams I gave were Smriti pramanam. Omityeka Aksharam Brahma Vyaharan Mam Anusmaran. This is coming in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Om iti ekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran. Bhagavan is saying, keep only me in the mind and then be with that Om. Saguna Brahma Ishvara, be with that. 10th chapter says, Pranavasarva Vedeshu. The complete Vedas are encapsulated as Pranava, which is Om. The same thing Shruti says in Upanishad. What? Just mention now. Yo Vedadau Swarah Prokto Vedante Cha Pratishtitah Yaha Vedanam Adau Swaraha Proktaha. That Swaraha which is told at the start of the Vedas, Vedanam Ante Tameva Swaram Pratishtitam. That Swara itself I have completely understood and I am that. Pratishtitam. I am fully absorbed in that. Tasya prakriti linasya yah para saparameshwaraha. What it is nothing other than Parameshwara. In yoga, what does Patanjali tell about Pranava? Tasya vachaka Pranavaha. Kasya vachakaha? Ishwarasya vachakaha Pranavaha. Tasya is a pronoun. His. Kasya? Ishwarasya vachakaha pranavaha. Okay. Tasya prakriti leenasya yah para sa maheshwaraha. Same thing. So Shruti is saying the same thing, Smriti is telling the same thing. Okay. So they will, so we have to have that mindset that I should not waver, because in this path you are a solitary person. In Karma Kanda you'll have many with you, but in Jnana Kanda you are all alone. Maximum you have a guru. That too, when you sit in front of the guru, you are always doubting whether he has got that knowledge, whether he is teaching me properly, whether even that question comes that is he intelligent enough to understand my intelligent question? Does he even understand what I am asking? That is why we keep on saying, no, what I mean, I mean this only. Are? Okay, so all these are mentally things which will happen. And one has to be aware that these are all just smoke. Allow it to just settle. They are dust. Allow it to settle. And be firm that slowly you will be in that path by yourself, very firm, without having a fear. क्योंकि अकेले जंगल में जाएगा तो डर रहता है ना, 10 लोग साथ में रहेगा तो डर नहीं रहता है. ये जंगल में अकेले जा रहे हैं, रास्ता मालूम नहीं है, कौन आएगा क्या होगा पता नहीं है. उसका बीच में सडनली वन डे यू स्टार्ट फीलिंग लिटिल शिवरिंग, चिल है, थोड़ा थोड़ा बुखार जैसा आया. अरे वहाँ घर पे रहेगा तो इतना सेवा होता है हमारा, यहाँ पे तो अभी भिक्षुक हो गए, इधर कोई देखता भी नहीं है, ऐसे ही मर जाऊंगा तो. हाउ मेनी फियर्स कैन कम? सो मेनी फियर्स आर देयर. Keep all that aside. Bhagavan is there with me. Bhakti dhrida, and then be very firm in that. Okay. Shruti Shiraha Vakyam Samakarnyatam. Shruti Shiraha, yesterday I mentioned what is Shruti Shiraha? Vedantaha. Vedanta Vakyam Samakarnyatam. What are the Vedanta Vakyas? Aham Brahmasmi, Pratyanam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Tattvamasi. All this Veda Vakyams which are saying, I am that Brahman. Okay. Asavadityaha sa eva atma asavadityaha. I am that Atma, and the same Aditya is the Atma. Asau adityaha asavadityaha. Okay. That needs to be very clear. Now we will not go into what is that exactly. The details of what this Atma Jnanam and all is, Bhagavad Gita and other places it will come. Here, what we have to learn, that has to be very clearly learned without having any error in it. Asandigdha Jnanam should be there. Okay, right. Now I've got that knowledge from the Guru. Now what happens? If some information or knowledge is given, what is the first thing we do? We start thinking over it. Vakyarthascha vicharyatam. Vakya arthascha vicharyatam. Okay. When you say Vakyarthascha vicharyatam, you have to do, what is vichara? What is vichara?
Manan.
Yeah. Now when you say manan, before mananam, there is something called as swadhyaya. There is something taught. At the time when it is taught, you are just absorbing it. But the moment after it is taught, then you get some time to introspect on it. At least क्या बोल रहे हैं समझने का. Okay. Then something will get assimilated in. With that assimilated knowledge only, doubts will start coming. Okay. If, see, the earlier line is talking about Samakarnyatam. What is Samakarnyatam? Sunu. Sama akarnyatam. Listen. Just listen. Which means at that time, don't have anything in your mind to analyze it, absorb it, challenge it, nothing. Just listen at that time. Sama akarnyatam. After samakarnyatam, then what comes? Vicharyatam. Then introspect. Think on it. सोचो उसके बारे में. That is called swadhyaya. The Guru has told. Okay. Now, when I think on it, then I start getting doubts. Okay. I start getting doubts. The doubts can be from my existing knowledge. The doubts can come from wrongly understanding what the Guru has told. The doubts can come from seemingly opposing statements which the Guru has made. There are so many seemingly opposing statements in the Vedas. Okay. On one side, the Vedas will say what? Amaya vichinvita. Okay. Vrishtika maschinvita, Pashuka maschinvita. Ask for whatever you want. On the other hand, the Vedas will say, na karmana na prajaya dhane na tyage naike. अरे भाई आप बोलना क्या चाहते हो? मैं पूछूं या छोड़ूं? It's a very logical question which can come to people. And hence, that clarity needs to come. For that, vichara is first required. It is not even a debate or anything. Because in Samakarnyatam, if it has gone through 1 year and come out through the other year, you can't do Vicharyatam. कान से अंदर जाके इधर थोड़ा कुछ रजिस्टर होने के बाद विचार्यतम आ सकता है. Without a reference book. That is why the method was mastake natu pustake. Okay. There is a nice Subhashita which says, money and knowledge. Knowledge should never be in the book and money should never be in the somewhere else other than you. Both should be with you. Because when both are needed, only what is available with you is useful. If it is not available with you, it is not useful. It is useless. So when the knowledge is required and when you want to introspect, tomorrow you want to introspect on Sadhana Panchakam, what is the first shloka, second shloka, then the shloka should be there in the mind. Then you will be able to introspect. Bhagavad Gita needs to be in the mind. So that tradition was first by hearted, so that there is something where you can do vicharanam by yourself. Today it is always we refer to a book, we refer to something. But first vichara should come. For clarification you should refer. For vichara should come, content should be there in the mind. Correct? Vak artha iva samprutto vakartah pratipattaye jagatah pitaro vande parvati parameshwaro. So this is Kalidasa's first shloka of Raghuvamsha. Vagarthaviva samprutto vagartah pratipattaye jagatah pitaro vande parvati parameshwaro. Vag, artha. Every vak has an artha. Every word has a meaning. Pada, padartha. Vakya, vakyartha. Shabda, shabdartha. So vak and artha are inseparable like Siamese twins. How are they? The artha only gives meaning to vak. The vak itself is the base for the artha. Vagartadiva samprutto vagartah pratipattaye. Pratipatti is how do you get the base? That meaning is sitting in that base. So when you understand the right meaning of that word, then the word and meaning has a connection. Okay. Why this is said? For example, if I just tell you, "Oola la 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 le le lo," what is the meaning? There is a vaka. Is there a meaning to it? Can you all hear me? You can hear me, right? Okay. So when I say "Oola la 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 le lo," what is the meaning? There is no meaning, right? Because the vak and artha are not joined together here. It is just noise. Are you able to get that? Unless the artha is sitting and the both are inseparable, you will not get what it means. And every word you understand only with that association with that artha, and they don't separate them. How? Jagatah Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwara. How Parvati and Parameshwara are inseparable in one body, both are there. Ardhanadishwara. Like that, Vak and Artha go together. So, Vakyarthascha Vicharyata. What Vak and its Artha is there, Tam Vicharyata. Is it clear? Now, the topic is Atma. Vak and Artha cannot be used in Atma. Because it is difficult to explain or impossible to explain Atma with words. Atma tarhikaha स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण शरीराद्यतिरक्तः पंचकोशातीतः सन् अवस्थात्रय साक्षी सच्चिदानंद स्वरूपः सन् यस्तिष्ठति स आत्मा. इसमें आत्मा का बारे में क्या बोला है? पूरा अनात्मा डिस्क्राइब किया है. समझ में आ रहा है? नेति नेति नाना वचना. दैट इज हाउ द वेदास से इट इज नॉट दिस, इट इज नॉट दिस. So, Vakyarthascha Vicharyata, when you say the Artha is going to come from Vak, which are all negating everything and then leaving it you to understand what is Vakyartha of Atma. Then obviously doubts will come, because when it is not very clearly mentioned what it is, then with examples and similes if it is told, we have a possibility to misunderstand it. I will give you an example. Suppose we say Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan Atma Guhayan Nihitosya Jantoho. One line from the Upanishad. Anoho Aniyan Mahato Mahiyan. What is Anu? What is Anu? Atom. What is Aniyan? Anoho Aniyan. Atom ka atom. Subatomic. Atom ka bhi atom. Smaller than the atom ka atom. Getting it? So immediately for you to see it, what will you do? Get the telescope. Let me see where it is. Correct? The next word is Mahato Mahiyan. What is Mahat? Brihattamaha. Vast. Unimaginably vast. Infinite. Mahiyan. Bigger than that. So now you will need a telescope. Are you able to understand? Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Such a cross it is. And then he says what? Atma Guhayan Nihitosya Jantoho. It is present as a Gupta, Gopaniya, Nihita internally, Jantoho in all the living beings. I am finite. In that it is there. Then Anoraniyan should be right. Then where is Mahato Mahiyan? Are you able to get this? The problem. Because when the words are used, the words are got a limitation when it comes to this topic. As though, seemingly, like that, we'll have to add certain masalas to make the meaning clear. As though, seemingly big, bigger than the biggest. So, such problems, vakyarthascha vicharyatam, when you understand the crux that this problem is there, then you will go for finding out the clarity on it. If the doubt itself doesn't come, then learning stops. Okay. Then learning stops because the doubt has to come in this. Such a subtle matter, subtler than the subtlest. If we cannot even go up to Akasha, this is beyond that. Correct? Hence, we have to understand it in the right way. So, Vakyarthascha vicharyatam. Now, when I do this vichara, I will have a problem. What is my problem? I will use my intelligence. With what is your ammunition to do vichara? Tell me. Vichara is an external aspect or an internal aspect?
Internal.
That's internal. What is your resource available internally?
Smriti, memory.
Shruti, memory, my buddhi, my manas. Correct? And the Shruti says that that is the problem. So if I do vicharyatam independently, I have a problem. Hence, the next word is saying Shruti Shirah Paksha Samashriyatam. What is Shruti Shiraha? Shruti Shiraha. I can't hear you, you're on mute.
Vedant.
Correct. Shruti Shiraha Vedantaha. Paravidya. Okay. So, Shruti Shiraha Pakshaha. What is the Upanishadic explanation of it? How does the Upanishad and Shruti Shiraha, the Vedanta, explaining this Atma Tattva? Sama Ashriyatam. What is Ashraya? What is Ashraya?
Dependence.
How did you see? That is why Vakartha. Now see, Samashriyatam word is coming from Ashraya. Is support. Support. Ashray lena matlab support lena. Sama Ashraya means completely take support. Of what? Shruti Shirah Pakshaha. Of the Vedanta or the Upanishadic way of giving you the right meaning. Use that as a support and not anything else. The moment we use logic, our logic will fail at some place. Okay. That is why Vedanta is the only darshana which is taking Shruti and Tarka becomes subsidiary. The rest of the Astika darshanas goes through Tarka and takes Shruti support wherever necessary. Slowly it is going technical. Huh? Hopefully you understood what I am saying. Clear? The rest of the darshanas are taking tarka. They are all tarkikas with Shruti Sammati wherever it is helping them. Whereas Vedanta goes with Shruti alone and uses tarka just to explain the Shruti what it is. That means we will not deviate from Shruti. If Shruti has not told, we will not accept it. Shruti means Shruti, Smriti, all the. Is it clear? Then we will not accept it. Okay. So, Shruti Shira Paksha Samashriyata. Then what happens? Dustarkat Suviramyatam Shrutimatatarkonusandhiyatam. See? Samakarnyatam, Vicharyatam, Samashriyatam, Suviramyatam, Anusandhiyatam. All verb. In every part there is verb. First, clearly listen. Unbiased hearing, listening. Then, think on it. Vicharyata. Then, take support of Shruti to have your logic in place. Put your logical argument in line with the Shruti so that conviction becomes easy. Is it clear? Then there will be some people who would not have done this. Obviously, you are going to speak to someone else. Correct? They will put a different point of view which is not Shruti Sammata. Then you will go into a Vada Vivada with them. Tarka Uhe, to debate. Vada, Jalpa, Chala Jati. There are many such stages of debates. Vada, Jalpa, Vitanda, Vada, Hetva, Bhasa, Chala Jati. All these are different ways how Tarka happens. Out of that, one of them is called Vitanda Vada. Vitanda Vada is स्टफ नहीं है तो भी अपना करेक्ट है बोलने का. Debating for the reason of debating, which happens most of the time nowadays. There is no basis for it, there is no pramana for it, but I have a logic to it and I continue to apply the logic and say that is correct. Okay. So, Vitandavada is called Dustarka. Dustarkat Suviramyatam. Go away from it. Whenever you see that someone is trying to just bully or just pull your leg by giving some logic and then trying to keep you engaged, it is very appropriate to do namaskara and say you are perfectly right and go away. But align yourself with Shruti Matis Tarkonu Sandhiyatam. Anusandhanam is always follow Shruti Matas Tarkaha. Okay. All these sutras, please understand, as we go to learn further, from very introductory one, we will go to Prakarana Granthas. And then we will go to Shruti, Smriti, Shruti Prasthana, Smriti Prasthana, Nyaya Prasthana. Okay. Do anyone remember what are Nyaya Prasthanas? 2 साल पहला हुआ था कि 3 साल पहला? सर यू हैव टू गिव अस एन इंटीमेशन. 4 साल पहला. हाँ, यू हैव टू गिव अस एन इंटीमेशन. ऐसा पूछने वाला है. सडनली उठ के ABCD मत पूछो. व्हाट इज न्याय प्रस्थानम? प्रस्थान त्रय. हैव यू हर्ड? If you have not heard, tell me I have not heard. I will explain it quickly. That is faster. That blankness tells me a lot. It's called Mauna Vyakhya. बिना कुछ बोले सब कुछ बोल देना. That is why I say keep the video on. उससे मालूम पड़ जाता है. श्रुति प्रस्थान, स्मृति प्रस्थान, न्याय प्रस्थान. They are called prasthana traya. Shruti prasthana is all the Vedas which are there. Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, Jnana Kanda, all put together is called Shruti Prasthana. Okay. That knowledge of the Vedas are then explained by people in day-to-day life by simple examples or stories, morals, and explanation to that, which is called Smriti. Shruti is not authored by anyone, Smriti is authored by someone. So you have got the Puranas, Itihasa, okay, Kavyas, Mahabharata, Ramayana, all this Itihasa, everything will come in Smriti Prasthana. All your Bhagavata, okay, Bhagavad Gita. So you have Upanishads coming in Shruti Prasthana, Bhagavad Gita, the Puranas, and all the Prakarana Granthas coming in Smriti Prasthanas. Then you have the third one, which is called Nyaya Prasthana. Nyaya Prasthana is talking about condensing the Shruti or expanding the Shruti. When you condense the Shruti, it is called Sutras. When you expand the Shruti or the Sutras, they are called Bhashyas. So, you have all the Darshanas which are man-made as per their understanding of the Shruti and Smriti. They have made Prasthanas. The Nyaya Prasthana, which has got Darshanas in it. Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa. 6 Astika Darshanas. 6 Nastika Darshanas are also there. Charvaka, Jaina, 4 Buddhas, Bauddha Mata. They are Nastika Darshana. Astika and Nastika depends on what? Whether you consider Vedas or whether you do not consider Vedas. Whether you value the Vedas, you are Astika. If you do not value the Vedas, you are Nastika. But the Darshana still remains. Huh? The Darshana is there. We don't deny the Darshana because they don't depend on Veda. तो हमारा enemy बोल के नहीं है. No exclusion of any intellect in this universe is considered in our system. We don't exclude anyone. We classify them that they are this type, but we take them also and we try to logically answer them. Is it clear? Right. So, Sankhya Sutras are there. Yoga Sutras are there. Nyaya Sutras are there. Vaisheshika Sutras are there. Purva Mimamsa, Jaimini has written sutras. 4,000 sutras are there. Athato Dharma Jijnasa. Okay. Dharma Samajnyaha. Pramanam Vedascha Chatvaro Varnaha. Brahmana Kshatriya Vaishya Shudraha. Tesham Purvo Janmataha Shreyan. Like that, Jaimini's Dharma Sutras will continue. Like that, you have so many sutras coming. Apastamba Sutra, Shrauta Sutras, Smarta Sutras, Yajnavalkya Sutras. There are so many sutras are there. Okay. Then Grihya Sutras. Okay. Then comes Vedanta or Uttara Mimamsa Sutra, which is Brahma Sutra. Athato Brahma Jijnasa. Okay. This are 555 sutras written by Vyasacharya. Vyasa Sutras or Badarayana Sutras, for which Bhashyas are written. For all of these Bhashyas are there. For Sankhya, there are so many Bhashyas are there. For Yoga, there are Bhashyas. Nyaya Vaisheshika Bhashyas are there. Purva Mimamsa, you have Bhatta Bhashya and Prabhakara Bhashya. For here you have Brahma Sutra, all the three Acharyas have written Bhashyam. You have Sri Bhashyam by Ramanujacharya, Madhva Bhashyam by Madhvacharya, and Shankara Bhashyam by Shankaracharya. For the sutras written by Vyasacharya. Okay. And each of these sutras, if we just take only this, why I am saying is, where all these are helpful. I am not deviating from what we are learning here. Huh? Shruti Shiras Tarkonusandhiyatam, I am in that topic only. If you look at the sutras, for example, Brahma Sutras, how they go, Brahma Sutras have got 555 shlokas. They are made into 4 sections. Okay. Each of the section has got topics. The topics are called Adhikaranam. Each of the Adhikaranam is logically talking about the subject matter and slowly progressing ahead. The first Adhikaranam, Athato Brahma Jijnasa, is one Adhikaranam. It has got only one sutra in it. There are Adhikaranams which will have 2 sutras, 4 sutras, 5 sutras, even 9 sutras. Like that, about 128 Adhikaranam or something is there. I don't remember exact number. Which is made up of 555 sutras. Is it clear? Now, when you learn it, the traditional way is the sutra is told, then the sutra meaning is told. When you say sutra meaning, like a common rule in Sanskrit, where we can interchange words and reconstruct the statement, we cannot do this in a sutra. If the word has come first, you have to first clearly put that meaning. After getting the meaning, then with all the meanings which has been opened out, then the next word will use only that context. Suppose it has to use a contextual meaning which is after 2 other words, you can't, because then the sutra itself formation is wrong. Are you able to get that? So when you get the meaning, then comes the next part, how it is connected to the previous sutra. What is the need of this sutra? Is it in line with the earlier sutra, or is it just a useless topic which has been put in by the author? Anupurva has to be there. How is it connected to the previous sutra? Like when you see Bhagavad Gita, after the first chapter, there is a logical connection to the second chapter. From the second chapter, there is a logical connection to the third chapter. So that relationship across, not sutras, Across adhikaranams have to be established because it is across topic. Why has the author gone from this topic to the next topic? What is the relationship between the first and the second topic? Is it a logical relationship? Is this a logical question, or does it need a clarification? If it's not a question, sometimes you yourself give a clarification. Does it need a clarification, or is it repeating an old concept? Then the explanation. Its connection to the Shruti, which Upanishad Vakyas or mantras is the basis for this particular adhikarana. Do we understand? It's a PhD work. Huh? That is why Adi Shankaracharya wrote the bhashyas for 10 Upanishads. Ishakena katha prashna mundamandukya tittirihi aitareyancha chandogyam brihadaranyakam tatha. He wrote that, and then only he came to Brahma Sutra. Why? In Brahma Sutra, maximum are coming out of this. There are just few, barring 4 or 5, which comes from other Kaushitaki Upanishad, Nadabindu Upanishad and all. There are few coming out. But major is coming from Chandogya Brihadaranyaka. तो मतलब बहुत डाला है. So what is the Shruti Pramana for giving such a sutra? See how very strongly they guard the fort. Huh? Are you able to understand? Then once the discussion starts, it goes how? The Purva Pakshi has a question on it. Purva Pakshi means opponent. The opponent will first, it is like a court. The opponent will first negate the sutra with their logic. It can be Sankhya, it can be Yoga, it can be Purva Mimamsa. Any of these opponent will be. Now, in reality, there is no opponent who is coming and doing it. But when a person writes a Bhashya, he himself imagines that if it is going to be Sankhya, this is what he will have a doubt. And that time they take a big help of grammar and Mimamsa. The grammar used in the Shruti is what is considered. If the Shruti has used the word in such a grammar form, how can you consider this to be the meaning? Because many a time we convert it to contextual meaning. They can change the context and say, no, this is not the meaning. Do you understand now? Then that needs to be justified by the Vedanti. By going to either previous Shruti Pramanas or the previous Adhikaranams, and many places it says already explained in the earlier Adhikaranam. That means it is your homework to find out in which Adhikaranam this is already told. And if it requires an explanation, it will be done. Based on the explanation, the opponent will have, Purva Pakshi will have the next question. Then the clarification. Finally, you conclude and summarize the sutra saying that this is the final net meaning of this sutra and it is well in line with what is written. From there, the next question has to arise. Till the last sutra where there is no more question. This is how a sutra has to be learned, including Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Including Patanjali Yoga Sutra and not the way which we are learning. Are you able to understand? When it starts, Atha Yoga Nushasanam, the word Atha will be explained for at least 2 days, 3 hours each. 6-hour explanation will be given for the word Atha. Then only you will understand why Atha. Atha from how many angles. Atha is also Mangala equal to Mangala. It is a Mangala Shabda. Atha, Om are like Mangala Shabda. So from that perspective, they will give an explanation. Because there is no Mangala Shloka when, if you start Patanjali Yoga Sutra, is there a Mangala Shloka there? No, it starts Atha Yoga Anushasanam. There is a Mangala Shloka there. In Brahma Sutra, Athato Brahma Jitnyasa, no Mangala Shloka. Whereas any other, take Tattva Bodha, what is the Mangala Shloka?
Vasudevendra Yogi.
See, there is a Mangala Shloka sitting there first. Then only it starts. So, Atha is for Mangala. Atha means after this, hence after this. Now the question comes, after what? Complete explanation has to be given after what a person can come to Yoga Anushasana. Are you able to get this? After karma, after grihastha ashrama, after brahmacharya ashrama, after completing all the nitya naimittika karmas and kamya karmas, after completing that, atha. Why? After karma only upasana can come. And yoga is an upasana shastra. It is a manas shastra. So atha contextually means after all this. That means after your karma kanda. How many people know karma kanda before sitting into upasana? And today to atha yoga anushasanam. Okay, now we will talk about yoga. Over one line. Let's go to the next sutra. Are you able to get this? The depth of it is completely lost, which means the meaning of it is also lost. It is not academic. Huh? Please let me tell you, it is not academic. Then only that mananam happens clearly. That jnanam has to become asandagdha jnanam or asamshaya jnanam. No samshaya. Samshaya badhita, abadhita jnanam. There should be very, very crystal clear knowledge without any doubt. That is called mananam. That means all the aspect of it needs to be known. Clear? Are we able to understand? That is why Shruti Shiras Tarko Nusandiyata, when he says you need to know the Shruti, you need to know the Smriti, you need to know the Nyaya Prasthanam, and then you will start actually, because in that process of learning itself, a lot of tarka is internally happening to you. No one needs to ask the question, because many a times Adi Shankara himself writes, in case there is a question by one Purva Pakshi like this, my answer is this. He presumes certain questions and gives answers. That itself will start making our buddhi tikshna and kurma very sharp. We start thinking that way. Whenever something comes, we also start thinking, oh, such questions can come. Does the Shruti have the answer here? Then we are in the right track. Mananam. Mananam is not just reading 10 times and by-hearting it. Looked at it from all the angles, I know clearly what it means. There is no doubt about it. Is it clear? Now I am convinced that there is no doubt about it, and that knowledge is become a conviction to me. Correct? Then as usual we have a habit. Viparyaya jnanam is there. There is a viparyaya in between, which is a habit. Like one of the habit is what? 9 o'clock we stop it. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेव अवशिष्यते. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. So we will see what is Viparyaya removal, Jnanam, which is called Nididhyasanam, in the next class. Okay? Hari Om. Shubharatri. Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Dhanyavadaha. Yeah.